What's good? It's none other than Ken Woods. Today, I'm going to lay out the mistakes I made while in corporate, so hopefully you don't make the same ones. Now, my first mistake was I didn't make my presence known enough. Like I mentioned in previous videos, I'm an introverted person, but I would give my 2 cents when it was necessary, when I felt like I had some poignant to add or a point that wasn't brought up. But other than that, I was kind of in the background. I was staying to myself, and that can go against you in the corporate environment. But you don't have to be extroverted. You don't have to come out of character, but you always want to make your presence known. You always want to give some type of feedback. You want to make sure you stay in the minds of those that are making decisions, and you want to make sure that everyone sees your value, and it's not just from time to time, but for all the time that you're there. So even if you're in a meeting and you had nothing to add, you had nothing more to say, everybody brought up certain points, you just say, well, I feel like this is a really productive meeting and I'm happy about the way it went. Good day to all you guys, something like that. Or make sure that you're greeting people, that you're constantly acknowledging others' work. So even if you're not making your presence known as far as what you're doing, what you're contributing, you can always acknowledge others, and that will get your name and your presence out there as well. And you want to make sure your reputation is aligned with something positive and something that is beneficial to others and not just yourself. So that was one of the mistakes I made, not making my presence known enough. Number two is after a while, I just got jaded and complacent. I was frustrated and angry at the way things were, the status quo, and my lack of acknowledgement, my lack of advancement. That I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm just do the least I can, the bare minimum, and that was a mistake because I should have at least that should have driven a competitive edge in me to figure out a way to be better, to outmaneuver certain people, to get my dues that I felt that I was owed. So I just kind of was so jaded by some of the politics and the underhanded things that were going on that I just said screw it. And then you become complacent, and then you just become like everyone else, and then you don't advance, and you're upset about your non-advancement, but your work doesn't necessarily merit that. So you don't want to get in a position where you're jaded and you're complacent. And if you do start to feel like that, it's time to abort mission. You feel me? It's time to get out of there. It's time to job search. It's time to find another opportunity somewhere else, because you don't want to be walking around with that energy, because it's going to show up in the way you deal with people and the way you communicate, and may even show up in your work. So yeah, just even though things may not be going your way, always remember that you have more options than you think, and try to think of ways to exercise those options to prove beneficial to you for now and in the future. So don't become jaded like me. You feel me? This is number three. It goes in line with the last one, but I didn't job search enough. I didn't job hop. Certain things, you don't owe your company anything, and they definitely don't feel like they owe you. So don't get in there thinking that you have to stay here, that you have to show your mettle here, you have to show your worth at this one place. There's other places that you can go. You can get experience now. You want to get experience there. But once you've garnered enough experience to job hop, make sure that you do that. Make sure you're always staying abreast of opportunities outside your current workspace, and make sure that you're searching for those opportunities, because like I said, you can become jaded, or you could be in a place where you actually are doing your best and you're being blocked, or you're being obstructed from achieving new heights and things like that. So, or there's just a lot of political BS. Even if you're doing your job well, you just don't want to deal with a lot of political BS. So you can look for other workplaces that don't have the same level, and you can look for other situations. So don't be complacent. Don't feel like this is the only company that you can work for. Continue to job search. Continue to do it frequently. And number four is I didn't build relationships. I didn't establish strong relationships with people. Like I said, I was introverted, so I was naive. Also, I just want to come in and do my job and go home. But that is, if you want to stay at this company and be a mid-level achiever, that is a mindset. But if you want to be a high achiever, if you want to stay in corporate America, you have to build relationships, and those relationships can be useful or prove beneficial to you in the future. So even if they don't pan out and they don't provide opportunities at your current company, they can provide opportunities. They can provide positive situations in other companies or in the future. If you decide to leave this company, you have references, you have people that even if they leave, you establish a good relationship with them. They leave, they start their own thing, or they work at another company and they say, hey, they can refer you, things like that. So you want to establish good relationships. You want to figure out where you have common ground with people. And you want to, like I said in my last video, well, not my last video, but one of my previous videos, build relationships by reinforcing things that people are insecure about. And you don't have to be disingenuous to do that. Just acknowledge when someone does something well, acknowledge when someone brings up a good point, and continue to do that over time. And they will, usually they will provide that energy back. So those are just some mistakes I made in corporate. I just want to give you that quick game. Make sure you don't make the same ones. And my book is full of things that you can figure out, that you don't have to make mistakes, that things that you can be prepared for so you don't have to even encounter them at all in the office. And that is A Black Man's Guide for Working in Corporate America. It's available on Amazon now. Hit the link in my bio to go get it. All right. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you listening.